I read that based on a study in 2021, so this stat is from 2021, that only out
Mhm.
of all the volleyball players, only
Yeah.
0.3% of them are Native Americans or Alaskan Natives. To the best of your knowledge, can you explain why that number is so low?
I think there's a lot of different contributing factors when you look at why there isn't as many athletes or representation in these spaces. I think one of them is just the obvious reason that volleyball isn't as popular in indigenous communities as, let's say, lacrosse or basketball. And it's now just started kind of making its popularity a little bit larger on these communities. I would say the accessibility for the sport in itself, the accessibility to reach camps and different programs that can help them be recruited or be scouted is very difficult to come by, especially when you get into these really isolated communities. I do camps in the summers when I go on different tribal lands and different nations. I've done a couple in Canada where I'm on these reservations hosting this camp, and they're telling me like, "Oh, this is the first volleyball camp we've ever had," and I'm like, "What? Why is that? Like, why is that the case?" And they're just saying, "Well, it costs a lot of money to, first of all, financially, it's kind of a burden to have to get the travel, the lodging, the money to be able to feed yourselves on these trips." And I know we struggled to financially get myself through club volleyball for a while because it is expensive
Mm-hmm.
to be able to have yourself seen in big tournaments. You have the jerseys, everything. And then on top of that, which I think is something we could do better as a community of volleyball in general, is get more college coaches and recruiters to these smaller communities, because it's not a lack of athletes that is our problem, and like talented athletes that is our problem, because I see a lot of them when I'm coaching. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, you could be playing D2, D1, you could definitely be playing in college. And the only reason that they're not is because they're not being seen. So I think that's something we can do better as a community, is just being able to seek out those places that are a little bit off the map,
Mm-hmm.
and give the indigenous community a chance to really shine and represent themselves. Because, as I said, it's not a lack of athletes. It's really not.